What's up, everybody? It's Julian, and today I'm very proud to be showing you something that I've never seen on YouTube before. I'm going to be showing you how you can make shoegaze with no guitar, nothing other than literally just Ableton and the stock sounds and the stock effects and stuff on your laptop or any computer. I've got the full Ableton template for this video at the top of the description, so make sure to click that link and grab it so you too can make shoegaze. We're going to be kind of blending a little bit of the slow dive sound, a little bit of the My Bloody Valentine type of sound as well, and yeah, I'm going to be showing you. You can make shoegaze without all those guitars back there. Even though I have them, all you really have to do is just kind of play around with it and do things a little differently inside of the computer. I'm going to show you everything right now. Let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing we got here is the drum kit. So it's really simple. It's literally just this drum machine. A lot of those bands actually did use drum machines, and even when they're not using drum machines, like a lot of those drums are very repetitive, right? So you can just use something like this. All this is the 707 kit. It came with Ableton. I think there's a bit of processing on it, like some saturation and compression and stuff, but it's essentially just one of the stock drums. Very simple. You can use this, you can use drum samples. It really doesn't matter what you use. I'm trying to show you how simply, though, you can get a result if you just do something like this. Then we move up to the bass. Now, obviously, shoegaze is all about like the guitars and the reverb and all that kind of cool stuff. But at the end of the day, you need to have a solid foundation for it. And I think that's a big part of getting this shoegaze without even having to have a guitar, is like, because we're paying attention to the important stuff first. We're going to have drums and bass that work really well before we go and do all these other different guitar layers and stuff, right? So this bass is playing a pretty simple shoegazy chord progression, right? What we're doing is doing G sharp major, A sharp minor, C sharp major to resolve it. So it's kind of like walking up. And then you can see the melodies will just sit right over top of that really nicely as it's walking up. You'll also notice these notes are not touching each other. They're slightly staccato. Again, kind of gives it more of a live bass feel. That's another thing. If you're not going to use the live bass or guitar, that's fine. But you got to do stuff like that to kind of make it feel more authentic and feel more real. Now, I'm using this guitar bass operator sound. This is actually, literally, you have this with like every version of Ableton. It's under bass here, and it's just called, where is it? Guitar bass. There we go. And it's essentially this FM patch, which just sounds really like a live bass. It's perfect, right? And then I have it going through this bass amp here. And then we are cutting out a bit of sub, and I'm also cutting at 100 Hertz because the bass amp can add a bit of mud there. So then we move to the guitars. Now, I'll just show you what the whole bed of guitars sounds like. So you can see, like, once you get this all stacked up, and it's all going through so much effects. Again, the key here is that shoegaze has a lot of effects, so it kind of does just sound like some live guitars, you know, by that point. So we're starting here with this layer. I've got it panned hard left, right, so it's really just like off in the left ear. And that's another thing too, is like this isn't dance music, so you can do a lot of panning and a lot of stereo stuff. And putting these all across the stereo field, like having these over in the right ear and then this one in the left, is what makes it feel like alive and like it's in a real space. So this one, it's playing, I'll turn off the effects and you can really hear how simple it actually is. So we're in the key of G sharp major or C minor, right? So what we're doing here is like, it's essentially, if you're looking at it as G sharp major, it will be major third, root note, seventh, major seventh, I should say, and then the root note. So very simple. I'm using this, I'm pretty sure this is tension, right? This clean guitar. And then we put that through some reverb. Which you can see is like almost completely wet, so it just turns it into, you know, like this wash. And then we put the reverb into an amp. And you get the shoegaze thing, right? Now the other thing here is we got a high pass at the end. Because you can hear it will add a lot of low end when you do that. So that's the first layer of guitar. Then we have this one. And so this is another case where it's just a very simple melody. Right? Again, we're actually using the same voices that I just used in that other layer. It's the 6th, or the root note, the 7th, and then the major 3rd. This is kind of playing it like it's C minor though, like, because you're going down to the C, right? So again, it's like using the same voices, but very like different sort of feels musically, right? For the actual sound, so this is another tension patch. Again, this single coil guitar. I've got to go into a bit of phaser. So kind of like slow dive vibes, right? We've got this distorted amp. Right? But then we got all this reverb afterwards, which is 100% wet. And there you go. It turns into like one of those slow dive type of guitars. We've got a high pass on it as well. And then we have this layer. Now, what this is, I'll turn off the effects. So it's the same as the bass line. It's just the G sharp major, A sharp minor, C sharp major. And then to kind of like make it like a live guitar, I've got, it's almost like power chords. Like you have a root, a 5th, and then another root, and then the 3rd, and then same thing here, same thing here. So you kind of, it's like the way it would be played on a live guitar. So yeah, we got that. That's that single coil guitar as well. The other cool thing with this is like when you have a lot of different parts that are being played, like this is playing these lower chords, this other one was playing like the high single notes. You can use this guitar again and kind of tweak it a little and make a whole new thing. So for this one, we got the single coil guitar, a little bit of phaser, the amp, and then some reverb. And there we go, and then high pass again at the end. And then the last layer of guitar is playing this melody, right? So this is again just honestly those same voices. You can see C, G sharp, and G, right? We're throwing in a little bit of that and F. The only notes we're adding here that weren't in those other melodies I showed you are the D sharp and the F. So again, but this is all about call and response. Like you have this part, and then you have, right? So you get the two different parts kind of talking to each other, and it goes well too because all this other stuff is just da 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 da, like constantly going. And then you have this one guitar which just pops in and out. So, for the sound on this one, what we're doing is it's this. Again, tension guitar. We're distorting it. Which doesn't always have to be a guitar amp, right? Like overdrive can sound really cool on guitars even without an amp. We have a reverb, high pass, and then a little bit of low pass. We're just getting rid of some of those like sharper high frequencies. And there we go. Now the last part to all this would be vocals, right? Obviously shoegaze has vocals, but you're kind of like washing them out and trying to make them a bit more like ethereal. So what I've got here is, it's also like a lot of layers I've noticed. Like if you that is both slow dive and My Bloody Valentine. Like their vocals, they would have multiple people in the band singing at once, and it would usually be like 3 to 4 to 5 layers, almost like a chorus of voices. Like, they both did that, and it was always men and women singing too at the same time, right? Which I did not have, so I basically just have 4 layers of me. I'll play you with nothing on it, and they're all like, you know, clean and in tune. There's something underneath the water. Right? Like, one is very high. Then underneath. And then we got some layers of that, but then we also have the low one. Then underneath the water. Right? So you need this. I'm showing you this, like, to say, like, it's not just the effects. A lot of people think, oh, just put the reverb on whatever vocals. It's not just that. It's like these guys layered these things very carefully, and there's very particular things that are done. Again, like I said, a lot of times just having the higher and the lower voices together can really help. And also the panning, too. Like, you can see I've got these pan hard left and right. But then you can see on each of these, we have a bit of delay or something, or reverb, so they're already getting washed out. Then underneath the... But then I put a bit of delay on the group. Right? So it just becomes just this big wash. You can still kind of hear the lyrics, but you kind of can't. And that's the secret to the shoegaze vocals. It's not just like putting reverb on anything. It's like very deliberate layering and then putting it on each thing and then a little bit at the end afterwards as well, and you'll get that sort of wash. So yeah, there it is. That's how you do shoegaze inside of a laptop. So there we go. As you can see, all you got to do is just create the layers of guitar that you would have inside of the computer. Since it's so heavily affected anyway, you can't necessarily tell so much the difference between, you know, like a computer guitar playing a super reverbed out solo and just a regular guitar, and it's gonna work. So that's how you make shoegaze inside the computer. No guitar required. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Share this on your socials for all your other shoegaze friends to check out. You can get the full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video at the top of the description on my website. Make sure to go grab that so you can make an awesome shoegaze track yourself today. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.